They just blew the coverage. The linebacker, they're taking him to the corner.
Okay, breaking in. I'm Brian O'Neill. The time now is 10 minutes before 9 o'clock. We have with us on our live line Hornell Mayor John Buckley. The mayor has been to the shelter at Hornell High School. The mayor has spoken with the Hornell Fire Department and the first responders. What do we know as of tonight, Mayor Buckley?
It's just a absolutely devastating scene over here on Preston Ave, Brian. I was over at the high school, checking in on some of the families and some of the people that have been displaced. I made my way over to Preston Ave just to check on the first responders, and it's just, I don't know, it's just beyond words. Never seen anything quite like this, especially in the city. Just absolute loss. Got 5 structures right here on Preston, not to mention some homes over on Washington on the backside that were affected. So it's pretty bad.
Mayor Buckley spoke with officials earlier. From what I could tell, there was no loss of human life. There were several animals that died, both dogs and cats. Is that information still current? Still correct?
Yeah, there was. Luckily, there was no loss of life. There's no injuries. There were some reports of some pets that were lost in the fire, which is unfortunate. But, the silver lining is there was no loss of human life. Everyone got out and were unharmed, uninjured. So, possessions and materials and things like that can be replaced, but you can't replace people. So we're very, very thankful. Our first responders did a nice job, and what was a very difficult situation. Our police department was on scene, actually, kicking in doors, trying to get people out of the homes, out of the neighboring houses. It's just an all hands on deck situation tonight. We had multiple fire departments assisting the Hornell Fire Department. We had North Hornell, South Hornell, Canasteel, Arkport, Fremont. Just 5 or 6 neighboring fire departments all pitching in, helping out. Police department, obviously, I know there were some off-duty sheriff deputies that helped out with traffic and people on the streets, and there was a couple reports of state police doing that as well. So just a lot of resources. Preston Ave, Brian, is a very, very tight street. It's not a lot of room to maneuver. Very hard to combat a fire of this size and scope. On such a narrow one-way street. You got the crick wall there. Not a lot of room for the fire trucks and the guys to operate, but they did a heck of a job, though. They really did.
What are Captain Tingley or Chief Brzezowski saying about this fire, John?
Well, they haven't really seen something this bad, especially in the neighborhood and in the city of Hornell. But we're just kind of counting our blessings right now that no one was hurt, and we're focused on the folks that were displaced and making sure that they have accommodations. And I've been in touch with the Red Cross tonight and over at the high school. Superintendent Jeremy Pilati, they opened up the high school cafeteria and used that as a shelter. And I can't say enough about the community. I am just blown away by the support of the community. So many people were bringing in donations and clothing items for all the affected people, and coats, jackets, pajamas for the kids, you name it, pillows and blankets, and just so much over at the cafeteria for all the people. And tomorrow we're going to coordinate city resources with the the school district, and we're going to bring all of those materials over to the Arts Center on Broadway, and we're going to have everything set up there so all those families and people can come over and go through those donations and take whatever they need. But obviously, there's a lot to do. I was talking to Salvation Army folks. They have quite a few families that were affected. They said they had eight families that they were helping out, which translates into 21 individuals, 13 adults, and 8 children that they were helping out tonight, providing temporary lodging. I know they reached out to some of the local hotels, and they were very accommodating. So, there's a lot of effort, a lot of coordination. But in the face of a tragedy like this, I'm going to say, what I said before. We are so fortunate to live in the community that we do, because when something bad happens, we rally around each other, and like no other community. It's absolutely amazing, and it's not just Hornell, but it's the entire valley, and it's something to be really, really thankful for and to be proud of.
Talking to Hornell Mayor John Buckley. We won't keep you much longer, Mr. Mayor. You spoke with the people at the shelter tonight. You talked about how a lot of people are being very generous in their donations. Where do people go if they want to drop any kind of supplies off? And do you have a sense of what's needed at the moment?
Well, really, there's a lot that's needed, and there'll be more, in the coming days, because these homes that were lost. I mean, we're talking a total loss. There's no salvaging, the homes, let alone any of the materials or the clothing or personal belongings. It's all gone. But like I said, we're going to move everything that was donated tonight over to the Art Center. So if people want to, donate more, the Art Center would be the landing spot going forward. So, late tomorrow, probably mid-morning, around 10 o'clock, we'll start moving things from the high school over, and we'll have that set up, and we'll have volunteers that'll staff it. So when those folks come in, they can, the doors will be open to them.
Gonna let you go. Hornell Mayor John Buckley, I'm sure we'll be talking to you a lot over the next few days. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, thank you, Brian.
It's AM 1480 WLEA Hornell. Mayor John Buckley saying 8 families, total of 21 people affected, 21 individuals, numerous houses caught on fire this afternoon, several homes completely ruined in the fire. Only good news coming out of this is that there were no injuries or fatalities except for some cats and dogs, but none of the people who were in these residences have died, and everybody's been accounted for. We were told earlier by Hornell Police Chief Ted Murray. It's AM 1480 WLEA Hornell, and we now return to our regular programming. Westwood One, NFL on Westwood One.